Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to dig into something really foundational: how to become a clearer, more powerful communicator. We're going to look at the two essential pillars that hold up every single sentence we write and every idea we share. So let's kick things off with a big question. We all know thousands of words, right? But what's the real difference between just knowing them and actually using them well? What's the secret sauce that makes some messages stick while others just fall flat? Well, the answer really boils down to two key skills. I like to think of them as the engine and the steering wheel of language. See, grammar is the engine. It provides all the mechanical power, all the rules that make things run. But composition, that's the steering wheel. It gives you the control to aim all that power and get your ideas exactly where you want them to go. Okay, so let's jump right into our first pillar, the rules of grammar. This is the bedrock, the essential framework of our language that lets us build meaning from the ground up. This is a great way to see it side by side. On the one hand, you have grammar. That's all about the structure, the rules, the system. Its goal is accuracy. On the other hand, you have composition. This is all about expression, application, and creativity. Its goal is a clear message. You see, they're totally different, but you absolutely need both. So, what are we really talking about when we say grammar? Well, think of it as the architectural blueprint for language. It's the whole system of rules that tells us how to form words, how to arrange them. Things like verb tense, word order, sentence structure. It's all about making sure our sentences are accurate and actually make logical sense. And look, I know grammar can sometimes feel like it's just about, not making mistakes, but it's so much more than that. When you have a solid grasp of the rules, it actually builds your confidence. When you know your message is put together correctly, you feel way more certain about sharing it. It's the foundation for everything we do with language: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. All right, we've got the rules down. So now let's talk about our second pillar, the art of composition. If grammar gives us the rules, what do we actually do with them? Right, so if grammar is the blueprint, then composition, well, that's you actually building the house. It's the hands-on process of organizing your thoughts and putting them out there so they make sense. And this isn't just for like a big research paper. This is for everything, from a simple text message to an important email. Composition is where your ideas really come to life. And this is where it gets really powerful. It's not just about stringing sentences together. Strong composition is how we learn to think critically by planning and structuring our ideas. It's no surprise that it's directly linked to success in school and at work. And, maybe most importantly, it's how you find and develop your own unique voice. Okay, so we've got the rules of grammar on one side and the art of composition on the other. But here's the thing. The real magic, the key to mastering communication, isn't in picking one or the other. It's all about how they connect. This is so important. These pillars, they just can't stand on their own. The best way to get better as a communicator is to bring them together. Learning a bunch of grammar rules without ever using them, that's like studying a blueprint but never picking up a hammer. The real power is in using them together. So, how do you actually do that? How do you make grammar feel less like a stuffy rule book and more like a useful tool? Well, it can be a pretty simple process. First, pick something that matters to you, maybe an important email you have to write. Then, introduce a specific grammar tool that could help, like learning how to use sentence connectors. And finally, apply that tool directly to your writing to make it flow better. See? That's how grammar starts to actively work for you. Okay, let's put it all together now. What does all of this mean for you day to day? How does really understanding this relationship make you a more effective and more confident communicator? Look, at the end of the day, it really comes down to this perfect partnership. Grammar gives you that essential, sturdy framework, the walls and foundation of the house. But composition? That's what fills the house with furniture, with color, with life. It's what makes it a home. You need both to build something that's not just strong, but that people actually want to visit. So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a little challenge. The next time you sit down to write something, anything at all, don't just think about what you want to say. Think about how you're building your message.
Are your foundations, your grammar, strong? Is your expression, your composition, clear? And most of all, how can you start practicing this today to make both of those pillars stronger together?